Howdy, folks. I really ought to be dressed better, but I just came straight from cutting down a bunch of box elders and having my 13-year-old drag the brush away. And now I'm going to go in and have dinner with my family. But we did something else today. Released a new book called Big Boys, Big Rig, and then the subtitle is The Leftovers. It's the most honest subtitle ever. I'm just going to read the preface to you, and that should give you an idea of what it is. Way back in the day when I was a magazine freelancer hustling books off a card table in the mall, I self-published 2 collections of my work, Why They Killed Big Boy and Other Stories, and Big Rigs, Elvis and the Grand Dragon Wayne. Then in 2002, Harper Books published Population 485, Meeting Your Neighbors One Siren at a Time. It sold better than expected, and as soon as it went to paperback, the publisher said, "What else you got?" They framed it in more professional terms, but that was the message. A Harper editor and I went through a decade's worth of my essays, magazine articles, and a dash of short fiction, winnowed them down, and published them in the collection Off Main Street, which contains the most unexpectedly popular essay I've ever written, the one about passing a kidney stone. Eventually, the last of the self-published titles found a home. I discovered the final batch of Why They Killed Big Boy in a box while cleaning the barn. They were scuffed, but we still sold out all but those the mice befouled. A little hoarse today too, because I didn't drink enough water and I've been out running a chainsaw. So I kind of got that Wolfman Jack thing going, or that sling blade thing going. I do sure do like them taters. I still get requests for fresh copies of the old books now and then, but in light of the fact that 9 of the 16 pieces in Why They Killed Big Boy and 16 of the 20 pieces in Big Rigs, Elvis and the Grand Dragon Wayne are included in the book Off Main Street, I could never justify reprinting and reselling that much material. I repeat myself enough as it is. Instead, Sneezing Cow Publishing, previously Whistlers and Jugglers Press, after a Shel Silverstein song sung by Waylon Jennings, my prime literary influence at the time, presents Big Boys, Big Rig, The Leftovers. As the subtitle not so subtly suggests, what you have here are the 11 pieces not included in Off Main Street, plus the original prefaces. You'd have to be a completist to even consider purchasing this book, so with an eye towards history, added value, and taking shots at myself 2 decades later, I've gone through the old pieces and added commentary. And now, with gratitude, I am off to write something new. Indeed, got a couple of 3 or 4 other projects in the works. So I'll just read the Why They Killed Big Boy original preface with my 2020 update. So the original copy of Why They Killed Big Boy had this preface, because some folks have asked. When I first began writing, I frequently used the name Michael Ryan and did so until very recently. Why? There were a couple of reasons, neither of them especially interesting. But for one significant reason, the pen name itself was meaningful to me. When I was casting about for one, I knew I didn't want a pseudonym the likes of Michael Diamond or Destiny Arisen. I wanted something unobtrusive and simple, but of meaning. In the end, I settled on Michael Ryan, in memory of my sister, Raya. Raya came to our family when she was 2 weeks old. She had Down syndrome and congenital heart and lung defects. For the next 5 years, through numerous surgeries and setbacks, she was, as my father put it, a trooper. Unaware of the definitive distinction, I always imagined he meant a resolute marching soldier, a TROOPER trooper. I can still see her, an oxygen mask for her and one for her doll, leaning against a small bench in a position that eased her breathing, watching our farm family at the end of the day, clowning as much as her lungs would allow. Raya died when she was 5. The influence she had on our lives runs too deeply to describe. At least I am inadequate to the task. Let me simply say her spirit remains woven through our lives. As I began to sneak a few things into publication here and there, I got the occasional note from an editor saying there were already some Michael Ryans out there, writers far more established than I. Lately there has been more confusion. So I've returned to the name on my tax return, and that's fine. But for one last time in print, Here's to the little TROUPER trooper. She still shows me how to march. And then updating that preface in 2020, I wrote, just this year we rediscovered some old photographs of Raya. The images hit me like it was 20 minutes ago. Love and grief flow ever fresh. That said, my first reaction upon seeing those images was not tears, but a smile. The line, lately there has been more confusion, in reference to my pen name, Michael Ryan, is a veiled reference to correspondence I received in which a specific poet advised me to desist deploying my pseudonym as that was his name, and he had a poem in the New Yorker. All these years later, that is still his name, and I still haven't had a poem in the New Yorker. All right. Big Boys, Big Rig, The Leftovers, that's out today. It's just a slim little volume. Like I said, it's probably only for completists. It is available as an ebook as well. So if you go to sneezingcow.com and hunt around there, go to the store on sneezingcow.com. There's a description of the book and then a link to both the paper version and the ebook version. You can get it on your Kindle if you want. All right, headed in, see the family. I hope you're hanging in there, taking care of each other. Yeah, forward.